Hello, welcome to the Boot Room, the first Boot Room of 2022. Ipswich Town back in action in the new year. It's taken until January the 8th, but they're going to Gillingham this weekend, Stu, for a festive fixture. What was supposed to be a Boxing Day game between the two teams. That means the festive period is extended, doesn't it?
Yeah, bring your turkey sandwiches. Let's just all pretend it's still Christmas. This is the weekend where Ipswich should really be gearing up for an FA Cup third round game at struggling Championship side Barnsley, but they're not, because they went out of the cup to Barrow in embarrassing circumstances on TV. So that meant there was this free weekend slot. So the Boxing Day game has slid in quite nicely onto a Saturday afternoon. I'm hoping it stays dry for those Ipswich Town fans in that scaffolded open air away end at Priestfield. It can get cold and wet there, but it's a sellout away end, and Kieran McKenna will be getting his first taste of the magnificent travelling Blue Army.
I'm sure he's looking forward to that. Weather forecast isn't looking great, but that's not always correct. So bring your coats, bring your waterproofs. You might need them. This game on Boxing Day was called off due to COVID in the Gillingham camp, which meant they weren't able to raise a side. Steve Evans now has his senior players available to him again, but they're a senior group of players that haven't been in particularly good form of late. So it's a game really that you would hope Ipswich Town should be winning and backing up that victory over Gillingham. Where am I? Wickham. in Kieran McKenna's first game.
Yeah, it's a game they simply have to be winning. Gillingham have won once in their last 17 since the start of October, and that was a 1-0 home winner against Doncaster, who were bottom, and we saw how poor they were at Portman Road earlier in the season. So in that run since then, there's been 5 draws and 11 defeats in there. They did get a decent draw against MK Dons last time out. And as you say, some of their more key players are back. Verdane Oliver up front, the big man who chips in with a few goals and can battle centre halves. Max Amer is a key centre half. Carl Dempsey, who's their captain. All of those players are returning. This is one of those sort of strange call-offs where people might accuse Gillingham of using COVID to their advantage, because there was a lot of injuries in the camp as well. They'll be better equipped to play this game on Saturday than they would do Boxing Day. But even so, Ipswich Town really should have enough to go to Gillingham and win this weekend, you would hope. And back-to-back wins have been in short supply over the last 12 to 18 months. So if Kieran McKenna could manage it in his first 2 games, that might just light the blue touch paper, hopefully.
There's a decent run of fixtures ahead as well, with Bolton, Wimbledon, Accrington in there, and then Gillingham again not too far down the road as well. So given the position, we know how far back they are in the race for the playoffs. This is a key little period in terms of getting that momentum, and it's only momentum that's going to take them to where they want to go. We've seen McKenna field one team as Ipswich manager so far, used the 3-4-3 system against Wickham, which in many ways was effective. I don't think we can necessarily bank on that system being used again, but for me, I can't see it straying too far away from that in this one, potentially.
No, I agree. I'm not necessarily convinced that is his, like Paul Cook, that is his go-to formation that's never going to change and that's set in stone. I think he's a more adaptable manager that will pick systems dependent on the personnel at his disposal and also having a look at the opposition as well. Gillingham are a 4-2-3-1 side. I don't think he'll change too much from that. Ipswich have played well in the last couple of games, both the Sunderland game and the Wickham game as well. It's more a case of players returning from COVID/injuries that maybe you've got decisions more to make on the bench this weekend. And McKenna had sort of referenced that in his press conference yesterday, that good players are not even going to be making the 18 at the moment. As a reminder for the viewers of the team that started against Wickham, It was Hladky in goal. There might be a change there because Christian Walton is back from COVID now. Obviously, they're trying to get a deal done for him permanently, so you would imagine that he would come back into the team. But the back three, Danassian, Wolfenden, Edmondson. Midfield four was Burns, Morsey, Evans and Penny. And then Aluko, Bon and Norwood sort of played a left-sided role in that game. Selina and Carl Edwards are probably two that you would think would come back into the squad, not necessarily into the starting 11. And then you've got some decisions to make on the bench. Caden Jackson is probably one that will drop out of the squad to accommodate one of those. And then somebody else has to miss out of the likes of Fraser, Carroll, Piggott and Chaplin. And the latter three of those all came on and had a little bit of an impact in the last game. So is Scott Fraser in danger of sort of dropping out of the squad? It's some big calls to be made here now, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think he probably would be one. Either him or Carroll, I would say, would be one that would potentially be looking to drop out. There's Rakeem Harper in the mix as well. He's not probably got the same case to be jumping straight back into the squad as the two you've mentioned there previously. But aside from Hayden Coulson and John Nolan, it does seem like McKenna's got a full slate of players to pick from this game, and we know it's a strong, deep squad. So we're going to start seeing some of these people emerge, I think, as being McKenna players, and some not. There's obviously some manoeuvring to do in January to come, both in and out, almost certainly. Louis Barry's gone back already. So it's going to be interesting to see how this squad shapes up over the next month. But for me, Stu, it's one change to the starting lineup and just switch the goalkeeper back.
Is there any other arguments, Andy, for in terms of the outfield 10 for changes? I mean, Macaulay Bond's now gone 10 games without a goal. I don't for 1 minute think that McKenna will decide to make that change now. But if anyone in that front three is probably going to dip out, it's probably Macaulay Bond in that territory at the moment, isn't it? James Norwood into a more favoured central position, and that might give you the ability to put a Carl Edwards or a Bursant Selina into that front three. I'm not sure it will happen this weekend, but might be one to think about going forwards.
Yeah, possibly one we might see in game before it sticks for the next game potentially. I think Bond still offered something in that Wickham game. I've actually watched that game back, football nerd, and I think I was potentially guilty of not seeing quite how much he did offer in that game on first viewing. So I would certainly be sticking with him, as you say, for the weekend. But maybe, look, he's a striker without a goal in 10 games. James Norwood has got 3 league goals in such a short space of time. Prefers playing centrally. He did his best work centrally, despite being a nominal left-sider, I would say, in that. So it's one that potentially we might see in game, and if it works, then maybe stick for the Bolton game or something else further down the track. Is there anything else in there that you would be even contemplating?
Depends how fit he is, but Kyle Edwards could potentially play on the left side of that midfield 4, and I think he does enough defensively to almost play that sort of attack-minded wing-back role, and instead of Matt Penny, possibly. But I think a tough away game at Gillingham is probably not the time to go with that sort of offensive switch. But those are the only couple of areas that I could see any changes happening in at the moment, and I don't think this weekend will be the time. It's a good win against Wickham. Goalkeeper's the only one I can see.
Do you think Kieran McKenna's quite ready for what he's going to face on the touchline this weekend? He's had his kind of welcome to League One moment with Wickham, which is as a League One baptism as you can maybe get on the pitch. Gillingham's similar in many ways, but on the touchline, there's nothing quite like Steve Evans and his attack dog assistant, is there? I'm not sure he's experienced that an awful lot in his career to date.
No, he was asked about that at the press conference yesterday and gave a very diplomatic answer about Steve Evans being an experienced manager, and both Evans and his Gillingham side will get full respect from him, but he won't have come up against a duo like that, standing on the touchlines for Manchester United's sort of under-18s and Tottenham's under-18s for academy football. I'm sure of that. they take it in turns, don't they, to berate the fourth officials and to get in the ear. I remember Mick McCarthy's saying that Steve Evans, it was a quip about Steve Evans exercises his jaw and that's about it. There was a little put down from Mick, wasn't there? Obviously, we then had the Lambert spat where there was Paul Lambert talking about whether he was a proper Glasgow man. And so Kieran McKenna doesn't seem the sort of character that's going to get dragged into all of that. But this is another little welcome to senior management moment for him, I'm sure. Standing on the same touchline as Steve Evans, looking forward to that one. I can't see him getting dragged into it.
No, neither him or Martin Pert, the assistant, seem that kind of guy, do they? I think it could be a one-way barrage. Right, Stu, prediction time. We know Ipswich need to win. We know they probably, on balance, should win. How are you feeling going into this one?
Need to win it. Have to win it. I think they will ultimately win it. I've got them down for a 2-1 win. I don't think for 1 minute it will be all Ipswich's way. You're smiling because that normally means you've got the exact same thing written down.
Always the same. We're not very often right, but at least we agree with each other.
Yeah, Gillingham will go direct at times. For Dane Oliver, I think wins more headers than any attacking player in the division at times. But Ipswich showed against Wycombe that they can stand up to that aerial bombardment, and I think they'll take a lot of confidence from that. And you would hope the goals have started to come back now for Ipswich with Norwood, gives them a belief that they can score at any moment, and hopefully that sort of translates to the rest of the side. So I've got them down for a win, Andy. You've done the same. Any idea of do you think it's going to be a late nervy one, or get the goals early and hold on?
I think they're going to get the goals early, and then it becomes a late nervy one with Gillingham hitting back and then holding on. But like you said there, right, I was encouraged by how the back three of Danassian, Wolfenden and Edmondson stood up to the physical side of Wycombe 10 days or so ago. Similar going to be in this one. I hope it's another step on the road for Luke Wolfenden, who I was really impressed with in that Wycombe game. Not always the one you look at as being the big physical defender who can handle those situations, but I thought he did that well against Wycombe, and I hope it's another occasion like that this weekend. So 2-1 from me, 2-1 from you. It's going to be a wet one, but hopefully it's a profitable one as well.